Hey guys, hope everybody's been doing well. I was just sitting around thinking, man, it's been a long while since I did a Fujifilm video, so I figured why not pour a glass of whiskey and get into it. Today I am drinking Sycamore Spirit Rye Whiskey. This is a double oak. What that means is after they let it age in the oak barrel, they take it out, put it in a new barrel, and let it age for a while longer. It's pretty good. It gets a lot of really good reviews. I am a bourbon lover and I do like it. I'm not sure if it's worth the $59 price tag, but I'm a little bit undecided. Definitely for 50, 59. I'm a little unsure if I'll rebuy it. I do like the bottle though. It's got like a diamond shape. Pretty good. So, Fujifilm. As you can see, guys, I'm still rocking my Fujifilm X-T2 and I still love it. This camera is very old now. I think it's probably like 8 or 9 years old. I know I've gotten some comments about how expensive my camera gear is, and I'm shooting a 8 or 9-year-old camera. And why haven't I upgraded? I looked at the X-T3, and I may get the Fujifilm X-T3, not because I'm looking for a huge upgrade on my X-T2. No, my son is talking about getting into photography. As it warms up a little bit, he wants to go out and shoot. And we'll do it one time with me X-T2 here, just kind of shooting together. And if he seems to want to go again, I will buy myself an X-T3, so we'll have two cameras and be able to share the lenses. And I was going back and forth on possibly picking up a Sony camera, but I'm probably going to stick with Fuji. I do like the Fuji system. I like the controls. The Sony's got it beat on a lot of other things, in my opinion. Image quality, I think people put too much weight into image quality. All these cameras are just phenomenal. I really was going to Sony because of the autofocus and things like that. So, I could use it for dual purpose for video. But lately I've been using my iPhone and my iPad for video. I know nobody uses it for iPad or their iPad for video. I don't use it when I'm shooting outdoors, but for indoors doing this video, it's either my iPhone or my iPad. And the autofocus is awesome. And Apple uses some dual pixel autofocus. I don't know if it's the same as the Canon dual pixel. I would think it's some kind of a proprietary trademark. Maybe they pay Canon, maybe it's their own. I just know it works great. And as long as I have a decent lighting, the image quality is just fine. As far as audio, I think Apple does, best in the league. Really, it blows away Sony, blows away Fuji, and all of them in audio. And inboard microphone, the iPhone, the iPads, the newer ones are just phenomenal. They blow any kind of a microphone unless you're using a high-end external microphone on your camera. So again, I'm probably going to pick up an X-T3, but I've been looking at the rumor sites, and there really has been nothing. I mean, complete crickets over there. This guy that runs this Fuji rumor site, he just keeps on reposting the same thing over and over and over again about this XH2 is coming in, 2022. I've heard May, I've heard April, I've heard a lot of things. I think right now they're talking about sometime in May they should be announcing it. There's also talk about having two different sensors, a 24, 26 megapixel sensor that is a very fast readout. That huge fast stack sensor where it's zero, typically quote unquote zero, rolling shutter, very fast action shooting sensor. And there was also talk about a second sensor with a 40 megapixel high resolution. I don't know. As it gets closer and looking at other people's comments, I don't know if they'll put a 40 megapixel. They may go like the Sony with the R version with the high end, higher image quality. That's probably not something that I am interested in. I'm unsure. I can't really say it. I don't really have my mind made up. But if they release both cameras today, I probably wouldn't buy either one of them. If they are the same size as the XH1. The rumor has it it'll be under $2,500, which is a lot of money, considering the X-T3 right now is like $1,099. I believe they're back in stock. They weren't in stock for a while, but I believe they're back in stock now. But $2,500 for an APS-C camera, and I know I'm going to get probably a whole bunch of comments saying, hey, the sensor size shouldn't depict the price. It should be this, that, and the other thing. Well, you know what? You get $2,500. Is it going to blow me away with autofocus? Blow me away with in-body stabilization? Because right now, Fuji hasn't impressed me, and that is the reason why I still have this Fuji XT2 on my desk right now. I have the money. I had it allocated to buy a new XT3 and then an XT4. They didn't offer enough to get me to want to liquidate my little funding account. So I still have like $2,400 just sitting there waiting for Fuji to come out with something that would really impress me. And they really haven't so far. And will the XH2 do it? Maybe. It depends on the size. Now, I'm not going to roll around and hold some huge camera with an APS-C sensor. You guys, I'm not picking on you if you love your XH1. I just don't think it's needed. The size and what it offers, the XT4 is more than capable as far as the body size to do what you need to do in an APS sensor as far as the image body stabilization and everything else. It just, to me, it really isn't needed as far as that size of a body. So that's really all they're talking about on Fuji. There is no talk about the XT5, and that's what I'm going to wait for, is the XT5. And you might say, well, why would an XT5 come? And I think it will. I think we'll see it in 2022. I did recently look up the release dates of the XT2, the XT3, and the XT4. The XT2 was, I have it up still here, July of 2016. The XT3 was September 6, 2018. So that's a year and a half apart. And then the Fujifilm XT4 was in April of 2020. So as you can see, it's about a year and a half to 2 years with the last release, April 2020. So we're coming up on 2 years. Now, I think Fujifilm made a big mistake when they released the XH1 and then quickly released the XT3, which the XT3 basically took all of the sales away. But I think they had to. There was no way the XH1 could compete at the level and price that it was trying to compete at. So they had to. Sony forced its hand in releasing the XT3. And that really was the most popular camera that Fujifilm had to offer. And will they do the same thing? I think they will have to. So what if they come out with in May, they come out with the XH2? Then what? Selling it for $2,500? They're not going to sell a lot of those. Fujifilm is selling a ton of cameras in that sub, let's say $1,600, $1,700 range. And that's where the XT5 would sit. And the XT5 has to improve on the autofocus for me. It has to improve on the image body stabilization. It's very wonky. I tried the smaller XS, was it the XS10? And I didn't like the controls. I sent it back, and I really had high hopes for that camera. But it was just weird. I used the Canon digital stabilization on my, the M50. It did a better job. It's more of a natural stabilization than the in-body stabilization of the XS10. So Fuji really has to improve in my books to really succeed and sell cameras. And the reason I still shoot Fuji is because of the controls. The XS10 didn't have these wonderful exterior controls. Yes, the XH2 will, but I have them now. You have to give me a reason to spend my money. Give me something I don't have today. But how about maybe a 1 or 2 stop better low light sensor? We haven't seen anything from Fuji. This is the XT2, 24 megapixel. They went to a 26 megapixel in the XT3 and XT4. Backside illuminated, you think you'd pick up extra low light. And I'm not talking, leaps and bounds, but typically companies pick up a stop and a half. And Fuji just didn't do that. I mean, if you look side by side, it's very similar, if not the same, in low light capabilities. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for better autofocus for sure, in-body stabilization that is usable, and better low light capabilities. Now, if it's the same low light capabilities and those other two aspects were strong, I'd still give it a very strong consideration. I don't really see anything else. I'm looking through the rumor recap. Let's walk through it together. 26 and a 40 megapixel sensor, as we talked about. 8K, does anybody care about 8K? Some people do. I don't even shoot 4K very often. So as long as I've got 4K 60, I'm straight. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not shooting for 8K anytime soon. Just too slow of a workflow. My storage requirements, I don't want to spend tons of money on backup drives. 4K, I'm good with 4K. It should cost less than $2,500. Again, I don't know about you, but I'm not spending $2,500 or even over $2,000 for an APS-C camera, unless it does like crazy things, but I don't expect that it will. The XH2 will be the first X series camera to use a new sensor and processor. Yeah, and what Fuji will do, they'll slap the sensor and processor, which I think they should do in every camera that succeeds it, including the X-T5. The XH2 X-Trans sensor, good news. Okay, good news for who? I do kind of like the looks of it, and but I like the looks of what I was getting out of my Sony A60, was it A6300? The biggest, it's a love-hate thing for me with the X-Trans. I like the X-Trans. I like what they can do as far as image quality without having the, what is it, the anti-alias filter. But I don't like what Lightroom and Photoshop does with it. And I've been trying to use a different editing tool, and I really like Photoshop and Lightroom. So that's a love-hate topic for me. And there'll be two. We talked about that. The two Fujifilm X cameras will have two different sensors. Again, this guy, he said the same thing like 4 times. Okay, we get it. There's going to be two. I'm skeptical if there will be two. Second Fujifilm X. See, again, that's like, what is it, 5 or 6 items to say the same thing. May 2022. So all of this for basically nothing. He hasn't had new news for really in a while. The one camera that I was thinking about buying, and honestly, if Best Buy would have had it in stock, was the X. What is it? The 100, whatever the latest one is. Not the S, the T or the S. But yeah, I don't know. I still may get that camera, and I did a side-by-side video between my X-T2 and my iPhone, and the iPhone's really good. So I don't know, but that camera does look cool. I still may pick it up for the hell of it. So guys, what's your opinion? Are you waiting for this new XH2, or are you wanting to see what they're going to do with the Fujifilm X-T5 like me? Love to hear your comments and your thoughts around this. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great night. Take care. Bye.